Hello, hello. Started a bit early so I could do a quick systems check. We'll be starting in earnest here in just a few minutes. Looks like we're good. We'll check a couple more here. I think I'm good to go. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining today. I'm going to do some coding again, as usual. Before I do that, though, I wanted to talk about a blog post I found. I'll do that in a second. Curious to hear your thoughts on this blog post. Let me just pull up on the screen. Blog is called Go is an object-oriented programming language, which is a topic that gets a lot of attention. I think is Go object-oriented? Is it not object-oriented? What does that even mean? I wanted to go through this blog post real quick because think it's kind of a interesting take, and I agree and disagree with different parts of it. I think. So I'm going to do that first while I wait for people to filter in. Just go through this about 5 10 minutes. Won't be long. Then we'll start some coding. So the let me put myself on the screen so you can actually see me too. Um, there's my actually recently changed my office, so I don't have a proper green screen. I think it's really weird around the edges, like this floaty weird thing that doesn't matter. All right, so the blog. Um, so we had this argument. The author gets into an argument every 3 months about whether or not it was. I've been in arguments like this before too, and my view has evolved over the years, I suppose. Um, I'm curious if anybody on chat, if you're watching, oh, I have so much background noise. Interesting. Let me see. I just enabled the reduce background noise filter. Did that help? No? You have a chance? I'm going to trust that that's helping. I'm hoping it is. Let me know if it doesn't. So, if you're on chat, I'm curious what you think an object-oriented language is. Like, when you think of an object-oriented language, just quickly in chat, let me know what does that mean to you. Um, Possibly as an example of something that is or isn't object-oriented. Sound like you're in a windy tunnel without the wind. It's back. Oh no. Let me try one more thing. I don't know if that's gonna help. Uh, Let me know if that's better. I had an air conditioner running in the background, but I had it in silent mode and turned it off, so now it's truly completely silent. Then I get hot in here. If that doesn't solve the problem, then I need to do something else. I don't know what. It probably won't happen. Um, I just rebuilt my office. So maybe it's wrong. Let me yeah, so anyway, back to the topic, object-oriented. What comes to mind as an object-oriented programming language? What isn't object-oriented? Just put that in chat. Um, and so that's kind of the first, or the second heading here. What is object-oriented? Um, I think many of us, this would be true for myself, in the past at least, would have thought that object-oriented had a lot to do with creating of objects and the inheritance of objects and things like that. That's not the definition that this author is trying to really um, use. He quotes Alan Kay, who kind of invented the OOP terminology, although his invention has not been um, the one that sort of caught on and became popular. But he says OOP to me means only messaging, local retention and protection, and hiding of state processes, and extremely late binding of all things. Everything that Alan Kay talks about here is completely not what I had in mind when I first started trying to define object in my head. I'm thinking objects. Um, and I think I might be forgiven for that. I think Alan Kay has even comment on that. That when he said object oriented, what he really kind of meant was more like message oriented, or I don't know if that's the exact phrase. Um, Go can certainly do this message oriented thing, even though it doesn't have an object, it doesn't do inheritance, it doesn't have classes. The author goes on to dive into further details here of things um, that might be part of an object language or object orientation. Relation, information and implementation hiding, state retention, object identity, messaging classes, inheritance, polymorphism, and uh, genericity. How you say that? That's a word. Like of these things, only classes and inheritance are the kinds of things that sort of popped out to me uh, as the sort of things I would put in that uh, classification. I'm already getting spammed on Twitch. Lovely. Don't know how to block. How do I pan? I want to. Okay. Anyway, so Go has most of these things. It doesn't have classes and inheritance, but it has pretty much everything else. Um, it certainly has the ability to encapsulate things. And so, yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole post and read it, but I kind of want to just challenge anybody who maybe has the same method that I did um, a while ago. It's been a while. The idea that object oriented means classes and inheritance. That's really kind of a very minor detail of object oriented overall thing. I'm curious, what do you think? This also thinks that Go is object oriented. Um, what do you think? Is Go object oriented? Let me know in chat, and then I'm going to start coding. I'm going to write some object oriented code. All right, so today I am working once again on kivik, my keyword. And last week I did some refactoring. If you watched last week, there is a movie here. I don't know. Last week what I did, I had two different ways to query a view. I had one method that would query built-in views like all docs and my docs. I had another that would query user created views, which are more complex certainly to implement. But they all take the same options, and they have a lot of the same failure modes. There's a huge overlap between these two since they're both considered views. And of course, in be proper, which I'm sort of emulating, um, they are implemented in the same way. I'm implementing them slightly differently, but I still felt like there was a lot of overlap, and I wanted to get refactoring. So last week, I spent the entire time refactoring to try to help make those two methods more similar. Since live stream last week, I've done some more work and I've gotten more similar. There are still two separate methods, but the differences are much smaller now. The main difference now is the raw SQL query. I'll pull them up. Blah, blah, blah. I'll pull them up on my screen so you can see what's different. And if you were here last week, you can sort of compare where we left off, where we are now. But I have perform query over here. So these are the two methods. Query built-in view. I do a little bit of variable instantiation to create an arg and a where. I moved that where logic out to its own function, so now that can be called in both places. You can see here I call build where, and here I call build where. Then the raw SQL And here's the this process goes longer and more complex. This is for the user-defined queries. And then in the built-in thing, it just does the query and it's basically done. It returns, it takes the result set and injects it into this object called, rows. Returns that. The built-in thing is a little bit more complicated because there's actually a for loop involved and a whole bunch of other stuff. The details don't matter right now. Um, the point is there's a lot less duplication than there was before after the refactor I started last week. And now today, I'm gonna add a feature both hopefully simultaneously, uh, as kind of a proof of whether or not my refactoring did what I wanted. Uh, that's what I'm gonna do today. Before I jump in, I do wanna mention a couple other things. First, I'm streaming to Twitch today for the first time ever. I didn't announce this ahead of time. I didn't know if it would work. It seems to be working. I haven't promoted my Twitch channel. I just literally created it today. I don't think anything about Twitch. I don't use it very much, but if you're watching me on Twitch, say hi. I'd love to hear from you. And if people like the Twitch stream, they'll probably do it more often. And if not, I'll stop doing it. It's an experiment. Why not? Um, I'd also like to do a shout out to my daily mailing list. If you're not already on it, head over to boldlygo.tech/daily. I write every day about Go. And yeah, I have over 600 people on the list, 615 or something like that. Boldlygo.tech/daily. And I write about Go every day, 5 days a week, not every day. I take the weekends off. All right, let's continue here with code. So the feature I want to add is the ability to not sort results. Might sound like a silly feature, but if you don't care about the order of the results, then it could be a little bit faster to not order them, right? So that's what's happening. By default, results are ordered by key. I want to add the ability to not order them by key. Let me pull up the documentation for CouchDB since that's what we're implementing. So it is specifically this sorted option. Defaults to true. I want to support the false case. Okay. I'm going to start with the user defined query for no particular reason. I could potentially write the tests for both methods first, and I'd have two failing tests. Um, but I'm gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna take this out of my to do list and then create a test. Now I haven't thought about this really. I'm not sure how I want to test this. Um, that's not what I want because my current test infrastructure depends on the order being exact. So I have to think about how I'm gonna. That's gonna be the hardest part of this. Probably is changing my test scaffolding to accept unordered results. But I'll get there. I'll get there. So let's start by creating. I'll probably just copy this logic here. Let's insert three documents A, B, and C. I'm going to change the order. I'm going to do like C, A, B, just because I expect that SQLite, which is the backend here, will by default return things in the order that are inserted. So if I just insert them in an ABC order, then I'll probably get a sorted list back anyway, whether I ask for it or not. So I want to change the order. No, I'm not doing start key, so let me change this to sorted false. And I presume I'll get back the inserted order C, A, B, but we'll see. Okay, let's run that test and see what happens. It's going to fail because it is sorted. The result I get back is ABC. So let's commit that. Create a branch first. Call it sorted. What? Oops. Too many words. There we go. All right. All right. So now I probably want to, let me see here. Let me find where I do this order by. That's what I want to change. The order by is right here. I want to just delete that essentially in this case, which means I need to change the way this logic works. Because right now I can't just, right now the only variability is the direction, right? Ascending or descending. So I need to change that. So how do I do this? I think I'm going to create a function on vops. So vops is a new thing I created since last week's live stream. It is a struct of all of the view related configuration parameters. And then I have a method that parses them all for me. If you watched last week, you saw I was a little bit frustrated by how verbose and confusing it was to do all this parsing. So I at least put all that parsing into a single method so I can just call it once. I think I'm going to create a type on this view options that returns an order by. That's how I did this build where. I'm going to do the same for order by. Now I can one thing I could do is I could write some tests for that individually. Just started pouring rain outside. Hope it's not too loud. I don't think I'm going to write separate tests for that right now. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just extract the existing logic, and then as long as my existing queries continue to work, I know that it's fine, right? So I want to do order by. Okay, forget about the ifs right now. I want to do this. I want direction equals this thing, except that this is just v. Okay. And then fmt.sprintf %s. I should spell better. All right, so I think you can see how I've basically taken this line of the printf and this logic and turned it into this method. So now I'm going to change this to %1s and this to vops dot build order by. We should be functionally identical to before. That should have been into pure refactor. Let's see if any tests break. No, they don't. So I'm going to commit that. I should do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing on my other method. So I use the same order by logic there. So let's do the same thing there. Build order by. Run the test again. Are they still working? They are. So the pure refactor was successful in both places. So this is the complete refactoring I just did, a very small refactoring. Created the new method, and then I call the new method in two places. Simple enough, right? All right. Okay, what's next? Okay, let's see. Now I want to add the support, the sort capability. I'm in the wrong. I really want this over here. All right. Now, if b dot sorted, then I do that. Otherwise, return nothing. That might be my entire change, right? The- So I think that's my entire change. The problem is, how do I validate it? Because unsorted means I get an arbitrary result. And how do I prove that my result is arbitrary or not? How do I disprove that I got an arbitrarily ordered result? You know what I mean? How do you prove? I mean, yeah, how do you prove that a result is not ordered? I don't know how you prove that, because even if it is ordered, it's still also not ordered, right? It could just be randomly that way. I'm going to print out the query I built just to look at it and make sure that it looks like it's doing the right thing. All right. Yeah, the order by, that's not working. Something's not right. The order by is still in there. All right. So what did I do wrong? Did I execute this for the right? No test.run. Make sure I'm only running one test. I'm running more than one test here, it looks like. See, there I get the order by without, or the query without the order by. But then here I get it again with the order by, and I'm not sure why that is. Let me just make this more explicit. These are regular expressions, if you don't know, which I find to be rather annoying, honestly. But let me narrow that down. Right now we're executing only a single test, and it does appear that it's doing what I expected. It's not including the order by. What am I making? I am adding the ability to not sort. I got a question on chat. That's who I'm responding to. I'm broadcasting to 3 different places. I am building an open source database library that implements basically implements the CouchDB protocol using SQLite, and I'm adding a feature to return unsorted result sets. That's what I'm doing. So let me think here. How can I do this? How can I test whether this is working? I could try changing the order of the inserts and see if that makes a difference. I don't necessarily expect it will. It's still getting sorted, it's still coming out in sorted order. But I'm not sure how to test this. I mean, I could add 1,000, hundreds, or potentially hundreds of rows and see if I can get it to come out in a different order. It seems like a lot of work for potentially no reason or gain. Still coming in an sorted order. So it appears that something is implicitly ordering these for some reason. Something about the query I've done, or the way that the index is built, or something is causing these to be ordered. Actually, you know what? I think I have an idea what it might be. There's probably another order by in one of these subqueries. Here's one: order by ID key. And that is, I know why that is. Is that necessary? Not. Hmm. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I do know why that is, and this I'm not actually executing that code right now, so that doesn't matter. That code is only done. This part of the query is only useful when I'm using a reduce function. I'm not using a reduce function here, so that's not happening right now. Although I I do care about that. I need to add that to my to-do list. Does ordering affect reduced? Actually, I'm sure that it does. So I need to add reduce equals true. So I'm pretty sure that obviously I'm not honoring order by when I'm doing a reduced views. That's something I this basically needs to use the same as this, I think. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's for later. So the question is, what is the specific regarding your database? I'm not exactly sure what the question means, but I'll try to explain the goal here. So I've written a Go uh, library to interact with CouchDB from Go. Now I'm adding the ability to essentially mimic or mock, if you will. I'm re-implementing CouchDB using SQLite for the purpose of testing. So you can write tests against your a CouchDB application without running CouchDB. Uh, and I'm using SQLite because it's really flexible. You can either have it talk to a file or in memory. So if you've written an application, I know this is common in all sorts of databases, or if you're using Mongo or Redis or Postgres or whatever, and you have tests that need to run against that. It's kind of a hassle sometimes to start Postgres or to start Redis or whatever to do that. So if you can have an in-memory implementation of that database, you can run your tasks more easily and faster. And that's what this is doing. I'm building a pure Go in-memory implementation, essentially, of CouchDB for the purpose of testing your application that uses CouchDB. I hope that answers the question. So I've been working on this for several weeks, and at this point, I'm kind of just going through. I have this to-do list for each method of things that are not yet implemented or need to be tested. So, and as I think of new ones, I add them. That's what I just did. So I mean, it said the comment is it's like SQLite but in memory. It is SQLite. I'm using SQLite as the backend, and SQLite supports an in memory mode. So I'm using SQLite. That's why you see the SQL on the screen. Um, so I'm using SQLite to implement CouchDB in memory or on the file system. All right. So I need to fix that, but that's for later. Right now, I want to understand why. I wonder. Okay, so I have a CTE here. Let me see if this is ordered. No, it's not. So anyway, the point here is that something is ordering, and probably by virtue of the fact that I am doing a join, and the joins are on indexed keys, and those indexes are going to be sorted by default. That's going to how indexes work. That's probably why I'm getting sorted results, even though I didn't ask for them. Let me try a little trick here. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to put something in the key that should sort in a funny order. Oh, I forgot to do that up here also. So CouchDB uses its own collation, which I almost do correctly. Has its own collation. It uses UTF, a certain form of UTF or Unicode collation, meaning sort order. That's different than ASCII. And if the index is using ASCII sorting, then I might be able to trick it to do things out of order according to CouchDB's collation. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So tilde comes first. Yeah, let me see here. I wanted to put it in the ID also. So the thing is that the tilde comes after the alphabet in ASCII, but before the alphabet in this Unicode collation. So I'm and the foreign key relationship is on the ID column. So if that's where this implicit sorting is coming from, then using a key in the ID, which is this, in principle should sort in ASCII format, I think, but not in the Unicode format or ordering. I mean, not format. Let's see if this does anything here. Okay, so I get that last, which is what I expect for ASCII. That's what I expect for ASCII, but not for. So that's working. It's working. So I don't need all of these things, and I just need AB tilde, and I expect this to come in AB tilde. And if I comment this out, then I expect it to come in sorted order. It's not working. It's not working. I'm getting the same order regardless. So that didn't solve my problem. It did not solve my problem. Oh, you know why? Maybe this is why. Okay. Because when I sort by CouchDB order, yeah, that did solve my problem. Okay. So when I sort by CouchDB order, it sorts on key, but the implicit sorting is on ID. So I need those to essentially be the same. And so that, yeah, so that the implicit ordering is different than the intentional ordering. I think I did it. I did it. I tested it, and it works. I'm going to add a little comment here explaining what I just did there. I can't remember what they call their ordering. Let me look it up here. UCI or something like that. Is it called UCI? UCI. All right, that comment should explain it to my future self if I ever run into this again. Except I spelled implicit incorrectly. Implicit. All right. Add support for returning unsorted results. It's not technically unsorted, but it's kind of unsorted. It's good enough for our purposes. All right, now I need to do the same thing over here in this file. Except actually, I've already done it. I need to add the test. and make sure it's working. So let's do that. I'll remove it here, sorted. And what did I call the previous test? I'll use a similar name. Pardon me. Return unsorted results. So I was testing collation order previously. Let me find, this one might be a little bit harder to test. No, maybe not. I think I can use the same actual code here. I just need to delete that view. Let's see. So I don't need ddoc or view, and I don't need this document. This is the user defined view that I'm not querying here. So the result format is a little bit different. So that's why you see this. Let's it's not quite as easy. Rev1, Rev2, Rev3. All right. Trusting Copilot at the moment. It may or may not actually be doing this correctly. Let's see. Did it go? So A is Rev3. Yeah. B is Rev2. Looks like it's about right. Let's see. Okay, the tests are passing. Let me disable this and see if I get interesting result. I do. So the same little trick worked here. So I'm good to go. I'll just amend that to my previous commit. There we have it. One new feature added to the database driver. All right. I think I'm going to continue on this and add the support I need for the reduce, the thing I just added, this right here. So let me find an example where I have a reduce function. Okay, this is probably the simplest one, something like count. Let me copy this. Count is a built-in reduce function that just counts things. Really simple. My goodness, there's a lot of tests here, and they're kind of long. All right, so this is going to be reduce function unordered results. So once again, I'm going to copy this. I'm not going to copy the whole big long comment again. Having it one place seems sufficient. And in this case, I don't need anything in the document. Looks like it just remits the doc ID, so that's reused as the key, which should be fine. And then options. I actually need to pass more than one option here because I need to pass sorted false, and I need to tell it, trying to remember. Group, I think needs to be, reduce needs to be true, yes, but group needs to be false. No, it needs to be true, I think. Because what I want to get is 3 rows, each with a count of 1. And then I can compare the orders. Let's see what I get. I don't even know if I have the right thing. Am I going to get 3 results? I am getting 3 results, so that's good. I'm actually getting 4 because design is not supposed to be there, but it is for now. So I already have a to-do to fix that, but I haven't done it yet. So all right, so let's do this. So I expect first. I suppose I expect design to come first. It is coming first. I think that's correct. Oh, I don't have an ID here. It's just a key, of course. And then value 1. Okay, these all should be value 1. Yeah, okay. And then key. I don't need A and B, you know that? I can just use one of them. I only need one. So that'll simplify this ever so slightly. All right, so that's working. And now if I turn off the sorted, do I get a different result? Or I turn on sorting? No, I don't. I guess that makes sense because I haven't actually fixed that yet, right? So let's fix that. This is what I need to fix right here. What would be nice is if I can use, why am I sorting by ID and key? I don't have any idea. I don't think it's necessary. I think I should be sorting by key and not ID at all. Further, I want to be able to just copy this. That's what I really want to do. And then I can reuse the same exact thing. The problem is that this it's looking at view.key. So I need to create an alias, which is fine. Let's call this as view. I think that's all I need to do. Let's see. No syntax errors. That's good. Let's disable this and see if things change. They don't. Okay, so we're still not quite where I expect. This is trickier actually, and I see why, because key is implicitly the implicit ordering that we were talking about before is happening in the same order as the explicit ordering. So I don't actually know how I could do this. Let me do what I did before. Let me just print out the query just to visually verify that it looks valid. This one's called reduce function, comma, unordered results. Oh, I see. I need to. I'm not sure if this is even executing this function. Let me consider this for a moment. So I don't know if I need those. And now I'm executing the function I was expecting, but I'm getting a very different result. So here's the thing. There's two different ways to execute a reduced view. Oh, oh my goodness. Let me think about this. You can either do yeah, so you can either query the view. Well, there's more than two ways to do this. I'm struggling to remember which one this is. So this is if it's reduced, but I don't think. Yeah, so I'm not so when I had group equals true, I actually called a very different function, which needs to be fixed. Has the same problem. So let me add that to the to-do list as well. Reduce equals true, group equals true. Sending. But this is the case I want to be testing. Okay, so yeah. But this is only happening when group is not true. Which means that sorting is almost irrelevant, actually, now that I think about it. I still don't know why I was trying to order by ID, or for that matter, anything at all. I don't think the ordering matters in this case. Let me delete that debug. So in that particular case that I'm returning reducible results, I actually do some extra processing on it before it's returned to the user, which means that the order there I think is completely irrelevant. So here I'm reading the results. Then I call a JavaScript function, a reduce function, and those results get accumulated. Okay, so actually this is what I would skip. If vops dot sorted, then I sort it. The thing is vops isn't being passed here, so I need to change that. Okay. This also doesn't have vops, so I need to pass it in here. All right, let's see how that works. And this is going to be harder to test in a sense. Because yeah, it's certainly harder to test because there's still nothing to sort. The end result is a single key called null and a value of 3. There's nothing to sort in this case. So actually, this whole thing I think is a no-op. Like there's never like you only get a single key in that case. So there's nothing to do or to test actually. But this case still matters. So let's just switch to testing that. Let's do group equals true unordered results. All right. All right. So now I get 3 results. The order should be kind of random. Yeah. I'm getting a different result each time. You see here's design is first. No, tilde is first and then design foo and then A. Wrote it again. I got A first and then tilde and design was first. So it is random in this case. And the reason for that is because it's not a SQL thing at all. It's this, it's this, whether I sort it or not. Um, which also means that I'm not supporting limits here. Limit, skip, and probably a whole bunch of other things. End key, start key. Actually, end key and start key might already be implemented. Well, I need to test it. Let me pull up the documentation, see what other things might be missing there. Conflicts, doesn't matter. Actually, it might, it might. I'm gonna add all the things that might matter. And then I can remove them as I verify that they're working. Include docs, attachments. Key and keys aren't implemented anywhere yet, but I definitely need to implement them there too. Update sequence, I guess. All right. There's a whole bunch of things I need to add to this this testing. But for now, what I have is code that seems to be working. It is returning unordered results. I just need a way to test that now. Thinking of how to do this. So I as I mentioned before, I can't like prove that they don't come in an ordered. I can't prove that they're unordered. I could probabilistically prove that if I do it enough times or have enough things in there. But I think all I want to verify here is that I get the expected keys without regard for their order. I could just add like an unordered flag here. That seems a little bit silly for one test or one very small set of tests, but that would be a way to do it. What do I do? So yeah, I guess that's what to do. Want unordered bool. Come all the way down here. Want then down here where I'm testing this thing, which is right here. And a variadic unordered. Actually, I'm not going to do variadic. That's kind of evil. I'm just going to have to update this every place it's called, which is 12 places, and put false where I don't want that. But here I'm going to put tt want unordered. I should call it unordered rows. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, all these other places I'm putting false. And maybe I'll find that later I want true somewhere, but for now I'm putting false. It's kind of ugly to have a, I'm not going to do it this way. I changed my mind. Instead, I'm going to create a new function called func check unordered rows. I'm not sure if this is actually better, but the thing is I don't like having Boolean flags to my functions. It's kind of a code smell. What, like, changes the behavior of function, it's kind of silly. So having two functions. The problem is that now this is really awkward here too, but I'm going to stick with it for now. Let me fix those places where I added the false, so that the rest of the thing compiles again. All right. At least the awkwardness is in one place now instead of every place I call this function. That's a little bit better. All right. So now the thing is, I don't want to like copy and paste and duplicate this thing. I want the core to be the same. So I'm going to create a function here called read rows, which returns that. So this is all going to be moved into there. And then this will call that. Now I can copy this. Now I just need to sort these rows here before I do the comparison, right? Sort. We want to use slices dot sort func. And then I have rows. No. Well, no, it doesn't matter what I sort by. I just need to sort by something. Why isn't this happy? Oh, yeah, I don't want rows, I want God. Still doesn't seem happy. All right, let's try this again. We'll try to sort the slices. I don't think I can use the generic version because the struct type isn't comparable, I guess. I'm guessing that's why. But this will work. What's wrong here? I don't know if I'm apparently using the wrong function. Sort dot slice, not slices. That would make sense. All right, so that sorts the first one. Then we sort the second one. Sort dot slice want. All right, now we should have. Now we should have the ability to sort unordered stuff. This test should pass now, I think. Nope. Why not? Let me make sure that that function is being called as expected. It's an easy way to do that. Let's put a panic in here. All right, we are calling the function. Oh, this is sorting by ID. That's the problem. I want to sort by key. Although honestly, I should sort by both. Although in this particular test, I want to sort by key. Um, I want the function to be general enough to work by anything. So I just need it to be sorted. I don't really care what it's sorted by, right? I need it to be consistent. Strings to compare returns an int, right? Okay. R strings dot compare. Let me. I'm going to create a closure here. Sort func R strings dot compare a dot id horizontal equals 0. Return R. Otherwise, yes, that's exactly what I want. And then I can just pass this function into both of these sort calls. What doesn't it like? It needs to be. No, I can't do that. Because each one's referencing a different thing. That's annoying. Different slice. All right. Now it's working because it's properly sorting those results. Okay, let me commit that. Before I commit, let me make sure I move the to-do item. This was reduced equals true, group equals true, sorted equals false. That one's fixed. Now I'm going to do the descending case. Well, first I'm going to do the ascending case, which is the default, right? Group equals true, ascending order. So I just say group equals true, and then I want the default. Is that the right one? Let me. Oh, I'm still got that unordered thing in there. Let me take that out. I think that's already the right order. This should break. Yes, it does. Okay. So that's right. And then if I do descending, they should be reversed, and this is going to break. It didn't break. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. That's because this isn't. That's because I forgot to do this. All right. If the op's descending, then I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, so that ordering still has to be done in Go, but that's fine. Let me take that off the to-do list. All right. Now, what I haven't. Wait. No, I think that's right. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. So the limit and skip, and end key and start key. I'm not sure if I'm going to implement those right now because I think I want to add some different capabilities first before I bother with that. So I think I'm gonna get away from MapReduce views for a while and work on something else. Like maybe adding. Sure. Maybe I'll add key support. That's a good one. I'll add key to the standard query. So once again, I need to build a custom view. I'm going to just copy this, I think. I don't need a reduce function, so this is fine. Copy this. And then I want it to return just a single value. We'll choose B. So I'm going to put key equals B. So it should return only the single B key. It's going to fail right now because it's returning all three right now. Yep. All right. So the place to fix this is going to be in that where, that build where, which once again should update both methods, which is great. What I don't know is happens if I don't know what happens if you mix key and start key in a contradictory way. Let's try it and see. I'm going to do a curl command here. I have to quote this as JSON, which is always annoying. I have to URL encode it rather. That becomes this nonsense. Lovely. All right. And start key equals, do the same thing to start with. Yeah, that's fine. Huh. So they can mutually exclude each other. All right, that's fine. But what that reason I was curious is I was wondering if I needed to not do the end key and start key if I'm also doing key, but I don't. I can put them together. So there it goes. This is gonna be super simple. I think that's it. That's the whole feature. Done. Done and done. I still need to do the test for the built-in views, but I think it's already done. I think it's literally the same exact thing. That's why I wanted to merge those. I wanted to merge those so I get this benefit of not having to rewrite the same feature twice. Da, 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 da. Key equals B, and I would expect to get just one value back. Don't need the revs here. I don't need both of them either. Let me just get rid of that one. Okay, we got a problem here. Oh, I forgot to rename the test after I copied and pasted it. Let's use this name. Good. Add that, yeah, to my previous commit. And let's do keys, which allows you to specify multiple keys. Fetching multiple specific keys. So here we do keys and we pass in a slice. Let's do A, B. And in this case, I expect to get two results. ID A. It's supposed to be a colon, not a semicolon. What's wrong? What am I missing? Oh, I need a comma up here. It should fail because it should return three results, and it does. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and write the failing test over here as well. Since I'm doing these in tandem. Let's call this. Let's see if they both fail. They do. Perfect. 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 Okay. And now we're going to go back over to where we built this where and do the same thing again. I'm trusting ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, but Copilot. I think this is right. Placeholders is the right function to call here. So it's building this placeholders builds the $1, $4, $5, $6, whatever we need. I think that's right. Let's test it. I did it. It's awesome. Need to remove the keys thing from the to-do list. There. And there. But not this one yet because this is all implemented in Go right now. That's why I was saying I want to do some refactoring and then it'll be more similar. It'll be some major refactoring, I think, but for later. All right. Still got some time. I could keep going. What else should I work on? Here's a couple I could add, or update in particular. Let me see what happens if I use that with a built-in view. So what the update flag tells the system whether or not it should update the view before returning results from it, which is essentially meaningless for the built-in views. But I'm not sure if it's an error to specify it. Doesn't appear to be. So I can basically just ignore that. It doesn't do anything for the build. I don't think it does anything for the built-in views. Maybe it does in CouchDB, but it doesn't for me. So I'm just going to delete that. I don't need to do any testing for that. It's fine. It's just ignored, other than parsing the value, which is already handled. What's next? Same with group level. Those are going to be meaningless here. And they return an error. So let's do that. In fact, I've already got some tests up here for similar things. Let me just copy this test. So group is not allowed for built-in views. I'm going to copy this verbiage. But lowercase it to be standard Go. Now it should fail. And it does. Okay. And that is part of views.go, I think. Let me see where I handled reduce. Apparently it wasn't here. Oh, I know. I did it in here. I had a little special case. So I can do the same thing here. If group does not equal nil. Oh, if group, just if group, right? Yeah, it's a Boolean. It's a Boolean. If group, okay, actually I'm going to So, well, I'll do it this way to start with. Then I'll refactor. If group and is built-in view, then return that. Shouldn't say reduce. Why is it complaining here? Oh, I know why. Yeah, okay. I need to change the order. I need to do group first. Well, I just need to do that group check first. I can move this down here. So when you call group, it implies reduce, and that's the error that's being generated. So group is invalid for map only views. That's not quite what I wanted. I want this verbiage. All right. Let me remove that group. And then I'm going to have essentially the same logic for group levels, I expect. Let me test that and see what happens. Level equals 3. Yeah, exactly the same error message. Group level 3. This is not going to give an error yet. No, it's working. Oh, but again, for the, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That actually is fine. And the reason is because this group thing checks group level. Because if you call group level, it implies group. Group implies result reduce. So that's fine. Let me get rid of group level here. Okay. Reject group level for built-in views. Now I'm going to do a small refactoring. What was it? Right here, I don't need to do is built-in view twice. If is built-in view, then I do these other checks. And one of those is if it is group, the more specific check first. Otherwise, fall back to checking for reduce. Should be the same behavior. Yes. Refactor to call is built in only once. All right. What else can I work on? Some of these are going to be bigger features. Adding include docs is really important, but it's going to be a little bit larger feature. I think end key doc ID and end. I think that and start key doc ID might be a good place to go next. I think it's pretty similar, pretty straightforward feature, and also can just be implemented into the where. So I've never used it before, so I have to see how it's meant to be used. You stop returning records when the specified document ID is reached. It's kind of weird. Ignored if end key is not set. All right, let me find the end key test and copy that. End key doc ID. Actually, I feel like it's really quite redundant with end key, at least for the built-in views, because the keys and the doc IDs are the same for the built-in views. I'm going to have to test this on the curl command line. I'm really curious how that's meant to behave. So let's just try it here. So we call all docs and we get this back. And you can see the ID and key are identical for the built-in views. Let's do end key equals, and here's where I needed that silly quoted thing. Should just memorize what the quote mark looks like when it's URL encoded. Is it %22? I don't remember. It is %22. All right. All right. So if I just specify end key, then it starts at the top of the list, sorted order by default, until it gets to the one that matches that key, and then it stops. What happens if I do end key doc ID without anything? I think it will fail, or it won't do anything. Yeah, it ignores it. And end key doc ID equals. Let's do the same thing. Yeah, so that's redundant. Thing is, if I change this from at to, let's do AAAA, it does nothing. Did I spell it wrong? Did I type it wrong? End key doc, I did. It's either with all these things or not. It still doesn't matter. End key doc ID. Stop returning records when the specified document ID is reached. Yep, that's what I'm doing. End key is set to that. Let me try making this something later in the list and see if that makes a difference. Let's try doc4. Nope. I don't see that it does anything. Let's ask ChatGPT. In CouchDB for the all docs view, does end key doc have any meaning? Question in chat is, what am I coding? I'm adding some features to my open source CouchDB library for Go. This answer is complete bullshit. ChatGPT is full of, it's hallucinating. It says this is particularly useful when there are multiple documents that have the same key. That's impossible for all views because the key is the document ID, which is guaranteed unique. So this is just bullshit. So I think what this is trying to say is that if you have a view, so I think this is effectively ignored for the built-in views is what this comes down to. For a regular view where you can have multiple documents with the same key, I'll write a test for that here in a minute, but I'll finish explaining first. If you have multiple documents with the same key, you can have an end key, which stops at the end of that key, but maybe you only want to get, say, the first 3 or the first n documents that have that key. That's what the end key doc ID is for. That makes sense. It just I don't think it's ever meaningful for the built-in views. So let me delete this. I'm going to add a test over. Actually, let me see if I have one of these that has a view on it. That's what I really want. Here we go. Let's try this. End key equals %22, a %22. Ah. And end key equals %22, a %22. Okay. End key doc ID equals %22, a b %22. Oh, %22. That didn't do what I expected. That's what I expected. And key doc ID equals %22 AA. That's not what I expected. I would have expected it to return this, but it returned nothing. Why? There's also this inclusive end thing, but I'm pretty sure it's the default. Yeah. I don't know why that's behaving that way at all. No idea. And key doc ID equals percent. Let me try this. I don't think so. Oh, that is confusing and weird. Oh, I know why though. I know why though. That's not so. That's not JSON quoted because it's not a key. Key is okay. That does make sense actually. It does make sense, and that means I have a bug in some logic I just did earlier today before the live stream. So maybe I'll fix that next. Let me fix that next. So end key doc. Actually, I spelled that wrong there. And these should just be strings. They're not. So this parse thing, I should rename that. Parse JSON key. But these aren't JSON. So that's wrong. End key doc. Should be end key doc. There's not an underscore in this case. JSON is irrelevant. This should just be strings. Anything else should be an error. Raw JSON. This should be want error. That I don't need this. All right, these are going to fail because I haven't fixed the code yet. But all right, yeah. So let's fix this. End key doc ID. So I need to do v comma okay equals a string. If not okay, then I return an error. Otherwise, I return v nil. %s q. Whoops. All right, and then yeah, this should not be quoted anymore since it's not actually JSON. And then start key has the same problem. Does it? I mean, it should, but I don't think I fixed it yet. Maybe I will go ahead and fix it though. I don't know. I'm confused about that. In key doc ID. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care what that really looks like. Invalid. I don't want invalid JSON anymore. That can go away. That's duplicate. All right, start key doc ID. I don't care about that. Start key, end key doc ID, valid string. Let's just say string. Doesn't need to say valid anymore. Okay. Start. I want to ignore. I don't know why start key is failing right now, but I don't care about that either just yet. End key. Okay. Raw JSON. This one, no. I should just say string as well, but the one I care about is raw. Here, this is it. Okay, what's left? Start key, end key, raw JSON. This is the earlier one. There's two ways to spell each of these keys. That's why this is why you see me solving the same thing twice. There we go. Okay, start key, start key, start key. That's all that's left. Okay, let's fix those now. Where is that? It's all the way down here. So we have start key, string. Good. And then we have start key raw JSON, which should be an error. Want error. And then we have the alternate spelling of start key, except these are both spelled wrong. So this should be start key blah with one underscore consistently, please. And then with 4 underscores. There's never one with 3 underscores apparently. So even I had that wrong in the first place. Okay. Invalid JSON, it's redundant. That goes away. Start key doc ID with 4. Yes, okay, that's good. And then raw JSON, 4 underscores. This one becomes an error. Actually, let me copy this. Okay. Oh, and then this also needs to be updated. All right, let's see how we're going. Oh, only one error message doesn't quite match. It's for the 4 underscore version with raw JSON. Good enough. All right, I'll fix that bug. Treat end key. Let's do it like this. End key, start key, doc ID as strings, not JSON. All right, so let's go back to this. So now that I have the behavior I expect, I can implement it. All right, I'm going to copy this end key logic, test logic, down here. And we want multiple ones with the same key. So we're going to give these all the same key. I don't care about the value here. Null. This is JavaScript. That's why it's null and not nil. End key should be A. And then end key doc ID should be B. Sure. So we should get A and B. Let's see what happens. It's going to fail. I sure hope it fails. Should return all the results or something else. Oh, I already defined it. I need to rename this in key doc ID. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3 results. Let me patch this. These values should no longer be here since I just deleted those to simplify things. All right, so I get 1, 2, 3 results, and I expect 2 results, right? The value is still there. It's just the string is null. You know what? Whatever. Value. All right, let's try that once more. All right. And the key should be A for both of these. That's why this is wrong. All right, now it's failing as I expect. Now, actually, I'm pretty sure this is going to go in the build where thing again. So, yeah. Now, if v dot in key doc ID, blah, blah, blah. I don't want it to be equal to. I want it to be %s. So you see this %s here. So in the original query, I'm doing view.key %s $%d. This %s is either greater than or equal to, or greater than or less than. And that's passed in right here, and a key op. Let's do it like this. Because I want to reuse the same operator here. This is weird. Let's make this from. I don't like the way that was done. Viewdoc. Viewdoc is actually just ID. View.id %s. Okay. That looks about right. Something else is wrong. I'm missing a close parent, I think. There, I think that's right. Let's see if it works. It does. And the truth is that for the built-in views, which I started with, it turns out these are meaningless, but they should still work. I mean, in the sense that like it's syntactically correct. I suppose I could test that. It doesn't really seem worth it since I know it's using the same code. So I think I'm just going to delete that from my to-do list here. Delete that and that from that to-do list. And then I can delete end key doc ID here. Let's commit this. And now let's do start key. It should be exactly the same concept. Start key doc ID. So these all need to have the same key again. Let's do A. So I should get BC. This is going to fail. It should give me ABC. Once again, I want to delete this value stuff. So this becomes null. Null. And the document IDs are BC, but the key is A in all cases. All right, that's exactly the failure I was expecting. Now let's add the logic we need here. So once again, I'm going to do op : equals, and I'm going to cut this out of there so I can reuse the same operator. I kind of trust Copilot to have copied that correctly. Doing a spot check, view the ID, blah, blah, it looks right to me. See if our test passes now. It does. Let's remove start key doc ID from here. Add support for start key doc ID. All right. Feel like I made some good progress here. Knocked out a whole bunch of sort of quick wins. A lot of these I still need to do here, but like I said, I need to refactor this first to change the way that that's handled. That's be a big project, I think. Update sequence isn't going to be very difficult to add. The big thing I'm missing right now, I think this one, yeah, I'm missing include docs and attachments on the built-in views. So I should be doing that fairly soon as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to end for today, though. I feel like I made a lot of good progress. I did more than I was expecting to. Um, yeah. So next week, I don't know where I'll be next week in terms of progress. I tend to keep working on this throughout the week, but I'll pick this up again next week for some more live streaming. So hope you'll join me then. Thanks for watching, those of you who did join today. And as always, feel free to bring your questions along. I'm happy to answer questions as I'm coding. Hope to see you next week, I guess. Thanks a lot.